The road trip continues in massive sunlight. In Oakland, the Sox are on the road to take on the Athletics in game number 1 of a 3-game series. There's supposed to be a 4-game series in Minnesota. There's supposed to be a lot of other games too early in the season for the Sox. But Old Man Winter has been visiting and gently rapping on our door. This is Kansas City. The fur coats were out. We lost a game there on Easter Sunday. Then back at home, Roger Bossert thinking over what to do with the snow. He was innovative and built a snowman too. But we got some games in at home as well. But Minneapolis was not as kind. 1 out of 4, the most self-explanatory sign in history, brings us here to Oakland. Good to meet you, Jason Panetti.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, really nice to finally get to work
It's really nice
with you.
not to be in snow. Other than that, there will be baseball tonight. That I can promise you.
And a good pitching matchup. Reynaldo Lopez has been tremendous for the Sox.
The only problem with Reynaldo Lopez is that he's not getting a whole lot of runs. The other problem today is, will he be too strong? And we'll take a look at some of the stuff, because his stuff is good enough to win 20 games. He needs some experience. He's got to get the secondary pitches over, but so far this year, take a look at that ERA at .69. Reynaldo has been throwing everything in the zone, going up and elevating the fastball, and because there's so much life on the fastball, nobody hits him very well. So this year, he's thrown it well. You see he hasn't won a game yet. On the other side of the equation, Daniel Mingden has thrown the ball. Well, at home, he's had some problems. I would say at 0-10 he would be due, but not tonight. Tonight is the White Sox night, and it's time to get things going because the weather is cooperating.
Coming up later, we'll hear from Ricky Renteria on what to do in all of this trouble with the weather and how the Sox have prepared for this. This is game 1 of the series. It's an actual game of baseball on your television screen. Stay up for it. 9 innings, we promise. And no bad weather.
Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, hold true.
The bay is beautiful, so is the sunlight. It is partly sunny, and that's more than we had in the Twin Cities. Sox and A's, game number 1 of a 3-game series. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for staying up past your bedtime as well. With Steve Stone, Jason Benetti, our entire crew here at the Coliseum in Oakland. And Sox come in at 4-8. The A's are 6-10. Time now for the White Sox lineup. It's brought to you by the Webb Auto Group, the best lineup of Chevys, Fords, Mitsubishis, Genesis, and Hyundais at the best price. Go to webcars.com. Moncada, Garcia, Abreu at the top, and Davidson, Delmonico, Wellington, Castillo back in after the knee injury that sidelined him for a couple of days. Sanchez, Anderson, Engel, your starting 9, rounding it out.
The defensive setup for the Oakland Athletics presented by UI Health, and it's Joyce, Kenna, and Piscotti in the outfield, with Chapman, who's got a great arm at third. Simeon, Lowry, and Olsen rounded out. Jonathan Lucroy has the plate, and our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher is Daniel Mingden. This is 4th start. He's 1-2 as the area is up there. He's a 4-pitch pitcher. He's had absolutely no luck in this ballpark. Left-handers he gets out, meaning he's got a good change. Right-handers have tattooed him. His curveball is better than his slider. He's a conventional pitcher with a Raleigh Fingers mustache. Fingers the Hall of Famer for this Oakland ball club, along with the Milwaukee Brewers. Mingden doesn't have quite that stuff. He's got to dazzle him with his footwork as opposed to his stuff. He depends on throwing in, out, up, and down, and keeping the hitters off balance. The umpires for the game tonight. Mike DeMuro has the plate. Chad Whitson at first base. Bill Wagner, the crew chief, is at second, and Bill Miller rounds it out at third. So on a cool but very nice evening for baseball in Oakland, we look around tomorrow night. There's going to be a packed house. They've given away some tickets commemorating a huge anniversary for the Oakland Athletics. Tonight, a select few in attendance, but the Sox looking to turn it around offensively behind a big effort by Ronaldo Lopez. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. Mingden is down behind the plate, contemplating the rosin bag, and he's ready to go, and we're ready to go. So, Jason, it's wonderful to once again do Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it felt like the All-Star break in April. Sox had 3 days off in Minneapolis, and now 50 degrees feels like the Bahamas. So, Mingden against Moncada as we open up play in Oakland. Game number 1 is begun with a Yoan Moncada dart to right field, and the Sox are in business here in the first. First pitch, 7:07, and into right field.
Fortunately, Mingden tried to sneak ahead with a fastball. Not the best idea, as after the deep freeze, Yoan comes out with guns a-blazing. Took a low fastball down and away, took it over the head of Lowry at second base, and as Piscotti gets it back in, a promising way to start.
Now look, if there's any pitch that was going to get swung at in Major League Baseball today, it was Yoan Moncada on the first pitch of this game. He's been waiting 72 hours to swing the bat. Sox have been holed up in hotel rooms and tunnels and planes and buses. Of course he's going to swing at the first pitch. See what Avi does in a while.
Very hard to pick anybody off when you have a move that's straight over the top at first base. And so Yoan realizes he can get a little extra lead. Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate is a good catch it, throw it, call it, and block it guy. Offensively, it hasn't come around yet to where he would want, but Oakland likes his work behind the plate. He also is a leader of this pitching staff.
Well, the twirl there was quick, but the throw was not from Mingden.
Well, you can have quick feet and a slow arm, and that apparently is what Mingden has.
You mentioned, as we were talking to Chuck and Bill, the Sox have great speed in this lineup, and Moncada is part of it, though we've not seen it in the stolen base category so far this year.
I think Ricky might be waiting to see if Mingden can get the ball over the plate. He originally was drafted by the Astros, 4th round of 2014. Traded over here to Oakland, and he's had a couple of shots with Oakland. 2016, 2-9. Last year, a little bit better form at 3-2 with an ERA of 3.14. So last year he appeared to have it figured out. This year, not so much yet.
Moncada's off. Throw to second is off the third base side and not in time. Yoan Moncada swipes second base.
No outs on the third base side of second. That's what catchers will tell you. And yet Lucroy, who probably didn't get a good grip on the baseball, threw it to the third base side. Whoever catches the throw has got too far to go with the tag. Yoan is in. The call by Mark Wagner, and all things right as Avi looks to take it to the right side and move along Yoan. That is his first and his 4th in a White Sox uniform. First this year, 4th overall.
Now time called. Mingden being very deliberate. He's got that double clutch move, almost like the Flintstones car when the feet start moving and then the car moves later.
Sox got to be careful on the defense on the corners. Chapman and Olsen both are state-of-the-art defensively, and that's cornerstones for the building blocks for these Athletics.
On the ground to the right side. Lowry the throw to first, Moncada to third, and Abreu has a chance for a productive out to pick up the first run as we take a look at what Mingden throws. Predominantly four-seam fastball 55% of the time. Curve and slider make up 36%, and the changeup just sparingly for Mingden.
Curve better than the slider, and he's got to be letter perfect. That fastball can throw upwards of 94 miles an hour, but realistically, he pitches comfortably about 91, 92.
Changeup sits around 82 as Abreu comes up with Moncada at third. This is where it starts to feel like the old days for these guys. They played together back in 2012, and certainly Jose drove in Yoan some times back in that year when Yoan was a young buck in Cuba, and Abreu was again the veteran leader.
Abreu loves to hit in this ballpark, and he loves to hit against this Oakland team. Had 8 home runs against them.
In this wide swath of foul territory at the Oakland Coliseum, more than you get anywhere else.
Pitchers love it, hitters not so much. Because in other ballparks where you'd have another opportunity, here you walk on back to the dugout.
Moncada at third, Abreu on a 1-1 count, trying to get the Sox on the board in the first inning. That's inside, 2-1.
On a chopper to third base, Yoan is probably going to challenge him, but it might not be the thing to do, as Chapman, who once threw in the high 90s as a closer at, I believe, Cal State Fullerton, he's got more arm than he really needs. Maybe along with Sano, the best 2 arms in all of baseball. That includes Arenado, and now Machado's a shortstop, so it doesn't include him.
Well, we saw Nolan's arm flailing in other circumstances the other day.
He did pick up a suspension for that. And there you see the wind is blowing briskly, and it's blowing straight out to right field, meaning anything up in the air. With the dimensions of 330 down the line, 367 to the power alleys, only 362 to the scoreboard. Easy to hit a home run that way.
Infield in on 2 strikes. Abreu checks his swing, and he did go around, so the throw to first. Moncada stalls at third, 2 out.
I told you it's a pretty good curveball, and here was a 12-6 curveball straight over the top. And if you haven't seen a whole lot of it, this is a pretty good one. Nice stop by Lucroy. Take a look at the technique. Drops to his shin guards, brings the elbows in. That's important, giving you a little wider target, angling the body, making sure it trickles out in front, and then making the play after freezing Moncada at third. Well done by Jonathan Lucroy.
A highly sought-after catcher a couple of years ago at the trade deadline. Didn't find a place to land until March the 12th of this year, but he starts behind the plate for Mingden tonight. Davidson nearly gets hit, takes ball 1. Matt has really changed his approach this year. He's got 9 walks already this season through 12 games for the Sox.
Pitchers are not going to get him out too much inside in the strike zone. When they go inside, they're going to get him out inside out of the strike zone. If he lays off that pitch, the pitchers have to come to him. They got to throw middle away. He should get one hittable here with the left-hander, Nicky Delmonico, in the on-deck circle. This should be a fastball.
They have a stat called chase rate, which is how much you swing at a pitch out of the strike zone. Davidson so far this year, 14%. Fourth best in baseball after a 30% chase rate last season.
That's pretty good improvement. If he makes contact, he's going to hit a lot of home runs.
Fouled away, 2-2 on Matt.
So this is where Yohan's got to take a good secondary lead. You got Chapman well back at third base. Nobody paying attention to Yohan. This looks to be a curveball again, trying the wipeout curveball, which winds up in the dirt. Lucroy was equal to the task with Abreu. Let's see if maybe one gets away here.
You watch Moncada creep up the line as Mingden gets ready.
That is a curveball. Let's see if it winds up in the dirt.
It does, and Davidson lays off. It wasn't near the zone. So curveball 2-2. What's your call 3-2?
My feeling is, well, he's got two choices. With a man at third, I prefer the high fastball here as opposed to trying to throw it by Lucroy. Let's see what Lucroy wants.
3-2 from Mingden. Breaking ball on the ground and foul.
There was an example of not wanting to throw the ball in the dirt because he threw a high curve ball, and normally that turns into a base hit. Yohan getting out of the way, and justifiably so. That's why you move down the line in foul territory and wear a batting helmet when you're on the bases.
And a trip to dance class never hurts either. 3-2 on Davidson. Fastball off the plate. Matt Davidson's 10th walk of the year has 2 on with 2 out in the first inning. So Nicky Delmonico bats
Batting in the fifth
with a chance to give the Sox a couple of runs here in the first.
Looks like to this point only 3 games postponed, so a whole lot better than the 6 postponed yesterday. But still in Boston, in Chicago, and Toronto. Amazingly enough, as we talked about before the game, games canceled. Didn't expect to have them with the Blue Jays, but there it is.
Once every 12 years or so, it seems like there's a mini malfunction at Rogers Center. And the good news is the Sox haven't been there for that. Delmonico, a high pop-up on the first pitch. Lucroy discards the mask and makes the catch over the plate to retire the side. 2 on for the Sox, no runs, and Reynaldo Lopez summoned out of the dugout after this.
Presented by UI Health, and Ricky throws them out there with Delmonico, Engel, and Garcia in the outfield. Yomer, Tim, Yoan, and Jose in the infield. Wellington Castillo gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher is Ronaldo Lopez. .69 ERA, as you can see. No support, a 0-1 record. Right-handers have done absolutely nothing with him. The good straight change and the slider, which he's getting over the plate, and he's been pretty close to unhittable in his 2 starts.
It's a tough Oakland lineup. If there's a strength on this team, it certainly is the offense. With a .261 team batting average that's currently coming into play today, 5th in Major League Baseball, and they can hit the long ball too. 22 home runs for Oakland. That's 4th in baseball. And Joyce at the top has 2 of them. Ball number 1 to Joyce, who's now 33 years old and faces this shift.
Outfield pretty much straight away. Adam Engel, maybe a couple of steps to the left to center. Let's take a look at Nicky Delmonico, and you've got to watch the flags for a couple of different reasons. Number 1 is, if you watch the flags, you know that ball's coming back in fair territory. He doesn't. He does not run. That ball is a fair ball when it lands, and Nicky is standing there, which is something that he really can't afford to do, and he realizes he made a mistake.
Yeah, you can see it by the grimace.
It will not happen again.
When did you look at the flags when you were walking into the stadium? How long did it take you to notice the wind?
As soon as I walked into the stadium. And then you check it every now and then to see if they've changed. And right now, the wind that was blowing out briskly is pretty much, it's almost still. But you've got to keep on understanding that the wind will change, it will shift, and now the wind has changed again and is blowing stiffly toward the right field corner. So pretty much you bear in mind that it's going to be blowing that way and try to pitch accordingly. And jamming Joyce is never a bad thing.
2-2, and that's inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes from Lopez, who walked 5 in his last start 8 days ago. There's Marcus Semien on deck. Lowry to follow.
Sounded like he broke his bat, but maybe not. It is kind of a chilly night for the man who's been around a long time. I talked with him about making the adjustment from a right fielder to a left fielder, and he said he feels pretty comfortable either place, but he's got a very strong arm for a left fielder.
3-2. In the air, right center field. Avi toward the gap, and it gets by Engel. So Joyce hustles into second with a leadoff double for Oakland. Just the 5th hit allowed this year by Ronaldo Lopez.
He got a low fastball, and Matt Joyce put a charge into it. This ball is out away. As you can see, he just flicks it into right center field. Adam cannot get to it, and he runs it into a 2-base hit.
Now the 27-year-old shortstop Marcus Semien, who's 18 out of 69, equating to 261 to start the year. 6 walks, but 23 strikeouts so far, and Lopez certainly would take a strikeout here as he goes away from the fastball on what looked like a strike, and he did not get the call.
Now the first meeting at the mound, and one of the things they're probably going over is a set of signs they want to use. Another thing is you don't want to get upset by Mike DeMuro this early in the game. So he's going to call whatever strike zone he calls. He's not going to adjust to Ronaldo. Ronaldo's going to have to adjust to him, and that is trip number 1. So says Mike DeMuro.
And so says our score box in the top left, which you will see has 6 lit up targets, and every time you use a mound visit, one of those targets goes away. You saw it just a moment ago. It's in invisible ink, Steve.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it is. Saw it during the mound visit. 1-0. It's downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes.
Would that be an azure blue?
Isn't that redundant?
No. You have sky blue.
Sure. But it's just azure, I think. I don't think you need to have blue afterward. It's like strawberry red.
Really?
2-0. Fouled away, 2-1. Here's what Lopez throws. We've seen some of it already. You mentioned the dazzling changeup. He throws right now about 10% of the time.
That changeup is going to get better and better for him because it's an outstanding pitch. Right now, he feels very comfortable with the slider, as you see. And he wants no contact here as Simeon tries to go to the right side.
In the air on the infield. That Reynaldo will take. Tim Anderson's underneath and one away.
Jed Lowry's the guy that's off to a torrid start. It's always been the case in his career. When he can stay healthy, he's a very competent hitter. And he has been healthy this year. The question that the Athletics want to know is how long will he be healthy? You look at those numbers and they're robust. 403 on base percentage for a guy hitting in the middle of the lineup is pretty good. That batting average outstanding, and the 14 driven in among the league's best.
Fans outside, ball one to Lowry, who's now 33 years of age. This is at points an older Oakland lineup with some young talent on the way up from the minors. Although one of those talented players just was sent down today, Franklin Barreto, who saw hit his first major league home run last year.
Just became a numbers situation for him. They really like him. We saw last year that they think he's going to be a good player, just needs some time. The guy they're really excited about is also an infielder. His name is Jorge Mateo. He's out of Santo Domingo. Last year in Double-A, he tore it up, and then he moved from Trenton to Midland. It was a trade from the Yankees that sent him to the Athletics, and they are ecstatic to get him.
It breaks in the zone for a strike, 2-1. You may have heard about Jesus Luzardo as well, the top pitching prospect for Oakland during the offseason. Somebody that Bob Melvin was thrilled about at points during spring training.
They're concerned about Kendall Graveman because he's off to a slow start. He's a big part of this rotation.
Remember in spring training a couple of years ago, we saw Sean Manaea. We were both pretty impressed with what he did. He has been really the anchor of this rotation so far through a couple weeks for Oakland.
He's become the ace of this staff. He's a tall left-hander with an unusual motion. He's parlaying that into an excellent start. As the Athletics look for some consistency in their starting rotation to go with what they believe is a good enough lineup to compete, but they're looking at Houston in the same division, and that's not good.
That's not fun, certainly. And then you've got Shohei Ohtani as well, and Mike Trout playing together, playing very well.
The rejuvenated Angels out of Los Angeles are 13-3. They lead Houston by 3 games, winners of 7 in a row and 9 of their last 10. You would think that the Angels are starting to believe in themselves, and Ohtani could very well be the biggest story in baseball of recent vintage.
3-2 to Lowry. Swing and a miss, strike 3, off speed downstairs, and Castillo got popped by the Lowry backswing. So Wellington, returning from a knee injury, got rocked on the backswing from Jed Lowry.
We'll take another look at it. Well out in front, and that huge backswing, and he gets it in the back of the head. Nothing catchers can do except suck it up. And I talked with Wellington about it. He said, hey, look, we got to eat the pain. He says that's what we do behind the plate. We eat the pain, we go on and take the next pitch, and Hermie comes out to find out if he's concussed, because that was a big shot he took.
I mean, we just left Minnesota, and it's well documented what a concussion did to Joe Mauer's career behind the plate and the blurred vision that came along with that. I'm not saying that here in any way, but I'm saying that that catcher spot can be massively affected by things like what we just saw.
Toughest position on the field by far.
So 2 down for Chris Davis, who has mammoth power numbers the last couple years, including 43 homers last season. Foul ground, first base side. Ample grass there, and it is out of play. It just dropped. Come on now.
Davis right around a 250 hitter lifetime, but he can really hit him. Not the biggest guy around, but very powerful, and he leaves nothing to the imagination. When he does not hit a home run, it's an accident, because he's trying to hit every pitch out of the park.
In the dirt, Castillo plucks it out 1-1, and back-to-back 40 home run seasons will help you to that 90 number for Chris Davis, who has certainly found a home with Oakland.
Well, they love him here, and they didn't give up a whole lot to get him. Perhaps Milwaukee wanted to move a contract. They might have been paying him a little more than they wanted to. Oakland is very happy to have him because he's been the anchor in the middle. He can hit it out of any ballpark in the country.
Came over for two minor leaguers, Jacob Nottingham and Kentucky's brother Bubba Derby.
Very nice. I think that Oakland is very happy with that deal, not to besmirch the character of the Derby and Nottingham Forest, but
you wouldn't besmirch anybody by making a play on their name, would you?
No, of course not.
2-1. A little bit low, 3-1. Now that one was out of the zone.
You're better off, honestly, you're better off walking him here than throwing something middle in. Because although he's got a straight up stance, although he keeps his hands right around chest high, he's got a very quick bat and just astonishing power. So Olson, who's not off to a great start and striking out at an alarming rate, is on the on-deck circle.
That's in for a strike, so 3-2 from Lopez to Davis. Well, you can't blame him on the take there. It's a borderline pitch.
Well, first of all, it's also a changeup, and he's looking fastball all the way. He's zone hitting ahead of the pitcher. He wants it middle in. He wants a fastball. He didn't get it, so he took it, and he'll live to fight another day.
3-2. Down. 2 on, 2 out, same as the Sox had in the top of the first, and Matt Olson, the batter. 24 strikeouts in top.
First baseman, 28, Matt Olson.
They will build this team around Olson and Chapman. Chapman at third, Olson at first, both exceptional glove men. Chapman with one of the best arms, if not the best arm in baseball.
Breaking ball, strike one from Lopez.
So the whole league is getting him out soft breaking balls. Then when they do go after him with a fastball, they like to throw it in under his hands, as they do most left-handers.
Former right-handed pitcher in high school, turned hitter Olson. Another breaking ball, another strike, 0-2.
Olson at 6'5", 240 is a very big man. Last year, appeared in 59 games with his Oakland club. In 59 games, he had 24 home runs. He drove in 45 and penciled those numbers out over a full season. That's a record-breaking season.
Another one for strike three. Hooks galore for Matt Olson, and he gets the big hook to finish off the first.
today's game.
What do you think it'll be?
Well, I think it'll be tonight's game to start with, and the Miller moment, I'm thinking a home run off the bat of Jose Abreu, which gets out around the 367 mark on a line drive. Just saying.
Specific.
Yeah, just saying.
If he hits one here, Abreu, that would really be a feat as Castillo takes the first pitch down.
Got to build the drama a little bit later in the game when it really means something.
Oh, it was just like when they used to do the Chuck Norris stuff. Like Chuck Norris hits a home run even when he's not up at the plate. Those sorts of things.
That was before my time. By the way, Castillo did a great job of guiding Lopez pitching around Davis to take the opportunity to retire Olson on soft stuff, because that's what's happening this year in the league, and if Olson doesn't adjust, that's going to happen a lot more, and Davis will not get a chance to hit all that often.
Ball and 2 strikes on Castillo, who hasn't played for a while after that knee injury. It was Tuesday that he last saw the field. Corkscrewed himself into the ground on a ball that was hit right near home plate. It was a fair ball eventually, but dinged up his knee. 1-2. Breaking ball down. It's about to be a madhouse at this ballpark tomorrow.
Give away 200,000 tickets, they said, which quite obviously they can't show up in those numbers, but this is a big ballpark and there's going to be a lot of folks here.
50th anniversary of the Coliseum, as Castillo's punched out on a pitch that he wanted for Lopez in the bottom of the first. As we tell you what's coming up on tonight's telecast of White Sox baseball, our menu includes a Michael Kopech great start from the Charlotte Knights. Also some good news from Winston-Salem. Bartolo Colon, our old friend, who made his debut just 21 years ago with a great effort yesterday. And then Mark Burley, don't blink. It's an anniversary to remember, but only for a very short time. One down for Sanchez. And he did go, says the third base umpire, Bill Miller. Mark Burley would have thrown maybe 4 pitches in between Mingden's pitches in the top of the first when he wasn't working out of the windup.
Mark Burley was one of the fastest ever. Just got the ball and threw it, a la Greg Maddux. You don't see many motions like Mingden's anymore, because he goes the conventional windup, the windup that everybody used to use. Goes over his head, use a few pumps over his head, and finally delivers the ball. You have to figure Yolmer's going to get a fastball here, so we take a look at this motion again. Back over his head, a little pump, back over his head, and delivers the ball.
To left field, and a diving try goes for naught. Joyce couldn't make the play, and Yolmer has to squeal the brakes around first. It's a 1-out single.
Like most major league hitters, if you can guess a fastball's coming 3-1, Yolmer hasn't missed many. With that base hit, he's knocking the door 300 as he slices it the opposite way. Nice choice by Matt Joyce to come and get it, but he made sure when he couldn't catch it, he kept it in front of him. So this turns out to be a nice play. He doesn't quite know what to do with the glove. He started to catch it with the glove full out, then he turned the glove over, then the ball trickled away, and a good effort went for naught.
Nice choice by Matt Joyce, huh?
Yeah. Haven't broadcast in a while. I need linguistics.
Strike one to Tim Anderson. Sanchez at first, 1 out. Sox trying to get the first run tonight in game 1 of this series, 1 of 3.
Yolmer put on the sliding glove on his left hand, or if there's a turkey in the oven at second base, he's going to be able to scoop it up nicely.
Honey, the bird's ready.
Obviously, he's going to lead with his left hand as he goes into second, and you want to make sure that you can't jam the thumb. That's why that glove is used. See how the thumb is right in close to his hands? You're not going to tear the ligament that's in there, and we've seen that happen a number of times with Major League base stealers.
Or just throwing it out there. We could get a cooking show for him called Yolmer's Kitchen. I'd watch.
You could get that. Now that I have the official iPad.
There's the set. There's the set for Yolmer's Kitchen.
I think it's terrific. And eventually there's going to be a barbecue and people can feel their hands around here. Tomorrow, I think that's going to be going. And I heard Wednesday afternoon it's going to be in the 70s.
That sounds great right now.
Somewhere, just not here.
The delayed gratification weather report from Steve Stone once again. Some resilient A's fans and percussionists here at the ballpark where they're known for their drums.
You're in Cleveland. Cleveland, they do the same thing.
Sanchez is off, and this ground ball can only get one out if that. They do. Sanchez going for third, and he is out. Aggressive, but high risk. Double play ends the inning.
It's the last play of the inning. Good coordination here. Chapman to Olson to Semien covering, and Yolmer's dead to rights. These are two of the best defenders in baseball at the corners. We talked about it, and Yolmer decides he's going to test them, and guess what? They're equal to the task. Marcus Semien coming over a pinpoint throw. Yolmer is down, a double play, and out of the inning.
And here we are in the bottom of the second with Chapman taking a bullet for strike one.
Chapman off to a great start, and if you haven't heard a lot about him, you will. He's one of the best young talents in baseball.
So there's a stat that measures your offensive productivity. It's called weighted runs created plus, which the average is 100.
I know it well.
And then as far as you are over 100, every point gets you an extra percentage above average. And coming into today, Chapman was 5th in Major League Baseball in production by that number, which a lot of people do use, at 197. So he's 97% better than the average player because of his massive power numbers.
How about runs saved defensively? He's among the best in baseball in that stat.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
And do not run on his arm, regardless of what you do, because he can come in, get a bunt, and throw it from the position that he catches it in or right over the top, and he will get you at first.
Nearly got plunked with that one. So 3-2 from Lopez.
Last year in 84 games, he had 14 home runs and drove in 40. That was in 290 at bats. Pencil that out over a full season. It's in excess of 30 home runs and pretty close to 100 driven in.
In the air, first base side. Abreu fighting the wind, and Jose over the shoulder. Nicely done. He stays with those balls so well and makes the catch for out number 1.
Not an easy play, as Avi was having a hard time, and now Jose telling Avi that the wind is going to take the ball away from them. And as he comes back, he has a word for him. This is just an outstanding play. That's a fair ball by plenty. He tells Avi that that wind, the way it's blowing now, is going to take the ball to the line, and you have to come get that. And Avi didn't have much of a chance as Jose took over and made a nice play on a tough play.
First pitch hunting, Canna into right field. And Avi doubling back for out number 2. Come out to the park April 23rd to the 25th as the Sox take on the Mariners. All fans in attendance get a 2018 White Sox wall calendar featuring Abreu, Moncada, and more. Get your tickets today visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Chapman, by the way, 3 defensive runs saved early this year. That's tied for first among third basemen in Major League Baseball.
Take a look at last year, and what he did is he burst on the scene and convinced just about everybody that he was for real. Piscotty, you might remember, came over from the Cardinals, having a decent start.
Yeah, Chapman didn't play the full season last year, but as you said, I mean, he threw upwards of 98 miles an hour when he was in college at Fullerton. He had 19 defensive runs saved last year at third base, which is in Arenado territory. That was second in the league.
Arenado, of course, playing a full season.
Fastball just missed. Lopez has not gotten the borderline low strike so far.
He'll get the high strike if he throws it up there, but you got to be careful.
Left center field for Piscotty, in trouble. Engel gets there quickly. Piscotty's going to test him, and he's in with a 2-out, 2-base hit.
Piscotty has 2 bases in mind when he left the batter's box, and if you're going to run into a double, you've got to come out busting it. He sees it in the gap. He sees that Adam Engel is going away from the throw as he puts on the brakes, but takes about 4 steps, and that allowed Piscotty to get in easily at second base. Heads up base running.
But as you said, that's an early decision you have to make. It's an early choice out of the box. I mean, it's right away. You're either going to gain or lose that double. Now Lucroy. The A's left 2 on in the first inning. Fouled away right side, so 1-2 on Lucroy.
Lucroy knows that he's going to get a pitch or should get a pitch to hit, only because pitchers pitch with the eye to the on-deck circle. You got Matt Joyce, who doubled to lead off the game, on deck. You don't want to get to him with the righty-lefty matchup. So though Lucroy is off to a slow start, he should get challenged by Ronaldo.
Two balls, two strikes on Lucroy.
There is a look at the aforementioned Matt Joyce. Bob Melvin, one of the best skippers in baseball.
The other wizard at Menlo Park.
Well, he's just outstanding, and he's been great wherever he's gone.
2-2.
A lot of folks figure that the Arizona Diamondbacks don't win. Not that Bob Brenly was not a good manager, because he was, but he had Bob Melvin on the bench. And Melvin has turned out to be just an outstanding major league manager. There's a look at Bob, his 8th season here. Just about right at 500, but overall a little under. He has not had good teams to manage, but he is one of the best.
Nice pitch, falling low and away, and Lopez gets a bleeding ground ball to finish the 2nd inning. Coming up next, we'll hear from Ricky Renteria what you do when you're snowbound in a Major League Baseball clubhouse. Ricky, what's the best way to kill time during a snowstorm?
I don't know if there's any good way of killing time in a snowstorm. You just you're going back there and watching your guys hit in the tunnels or play catch. For us, it's probably looking at video. There is no good way. It's just, you know, being patient and hopefully it passes.
Yahtzee, Uno?
No, I don't play cards. You know, I don't play any of those games. Unfortunately, I'm sure I should start learning, especially if the weather continues to go the way it's going. But no, I mean, for most of us, it's just conversing and listening to music and, you know, continuing to study the opposition.
I've been cheating the rules the last couple games. That was like 2.5 things with Ricky. We got to get him some like pinochle lessons or a backgammon board or something. Like, he's like one-track mind video. When he's in the clubhouse, he wants to do baseball things.
Can't blame him.
No. The shortstop in Simeon. Angle, beat it out. Adam hustling down the line is on to lead off the 3rd.
That's got to be a base hit because it was handled cleanly. Adam just a little too fast. Nice pick on the other end, but it all went for naught. Simeon backhanded. Olson made a good pick, and Adam Engel just too fast. So that's clean. Waited just a bit to get the handle, and Olson does a nice job on the backhand, and the call by Chad Whitson. And it is indeed a base hit that's flat out hustled.
The A's have not signaled that they want to challenge. It looked like Engel did beat it out real time. So we'll see if he can flash some more speed. He's 1 for 1 in bags so far this year.
Taking a bigger lead at first.
No go this time, and Moncada lays off after slicing the first pitch of the game into right field for a base hit.
3 singles off of Mingden, 2 to lead off the inning in the first and here in the third.
Moncada lays down a bunt in front of the plate. Lucroy has to hurry and just does nip Yohan Moncada. Engel to second base.
Nice play by Lucroy. I assume that's a sacrifice, you would think. And a good play, nails him at first, but just barely.
Number 26, Abisail Garcia.
Doesn't get him by much, but gets him by enough.
So you get the runner to second. Avi's coming up. He had a productive out in the first inning on a ground ball to second base, getting Moncada to third. But as you see, the Sox weren't able to collect a run. We're still scoreless here in the third.
Kind of surprising that it would be Lowry holding him close at second base, because it exposes the right side of the infield. And that's where Avi hit the ball the first time.
And as you say that, they're shading him to right center in the outfield.
The defense doesn't make a great deal of sense. We'll see where Mingden throws him.
You see that so often that it seems like the defense is talking out of both sides of its mouth.
Well, no, it is by the defensive charts. It happens often where a guy is a pull hitter on ground balls and an off-field hitter on fly balls. But that's not the issue here. The issue is who you're going to have covering. And they believe, I guess, with Mingden probably throwing inside Avi and curveballs, that they want Simeon closing the hole on the left side, and they're going to expose the right side because Lowry is holding him close. Could come back to burn him.
At points, though, you have to imagine in the era of massive shifts, pitchers and catchers don't know exactly the best place to pitch somebody considering where the defense lies.
I think that they defend the way the guy hits it, and the pitchers and catchers just get people out the way they always have, hoping that the defensive charts are not going to lie, because the defensive charts differ from pitcher to pitcher.
Engel was leaning, and he is back. Yeah, the question is, does somebody hit a ball to a certain place more specifically if you pitch him there, rather than just across the board? I mean, you could conceivably think of a batter who's a pull hitter, but if you pitch him in a certain place, of course he's going to beat you to the opposite field.
Only problem is you can't pitch him just one way, because if you do, the hitter adjusts, and then it doesn't matter where you defend him because the ball's in the left field corner.
Would have been really nice if Avi hit the ball in the left field corner as you were saying it, but
well, we'll have to see just where he is going to throw him. Right now, he's decided to throw him low and out of the strike zone, which usually doesn't produce much except a trip to first base.
.25-year-old Daniel Mingden out of the Houston area by way of Texas A&M. On the ground up the middle, Lowry froze. He leaves it for Simeon, and Engel to third. So 2 down. And we were talking to Ricky Renteria about the snow that the Sox faced. What do you do when there's a snowstorm? You go to Supercross and you bring your kids. That's Little Wake and Matt Davidson and Tyler Saladino and Adam Engel. And Yolmer decided to have some fun in the snow. He loves his life and every moment that he lives. Couple of snowflake emojis. #blessed. Yolmer always has fun.
That's a man that enjoys what he's doing regardless of what he's doing, but he particularly loves baseball, and you see it each and every day.
Matt Davidson, by the way, huge Supercross fan. Like, goes every year. Grew up in California, has gotten to meet some of the riders, and had himself a good old time at the Viking Stadium.
I used to drive back and forth from Chicago to spring training to Arizona.
Yep.
And I passed that Supercross just outside of Amarillo. So if you ever do that, you'll see it.
I thought you were going to say the one in Effingham. 1-0 to Abreu. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Question is, does Jose get something to hit here? I mean, Davidson's swinging a pretty good bat.
I believe when you go over the defensive charts, what you say about the Sox lineup is whatever you do, you don't let Jose Abreu beat you. You take your chances with anybody who's behind him, but you make sure that you pitch around Abreu if you can. And that ball was way out of the zone, but it appears that Mangden's trying to pitch around him, but Mike DeMuro won't let him.
Today's strike zone brought to you by Pop Rocks.
Well, it should be 3-0 and on his way to taking that walk to first base. Let's see if now he gets a little careless. It's going to be a fastball. Let's see if it winds up where I talked about.
2-1. Jose rips it to center field. Canna. Did he make the play? Yes is the answer. Canna squeezes out number 3. Jose skewered it but couldn't get it to land. Mark Canna saves the day, still scoreless at Oakland.
Only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
And we'd like to say hello to all our viewers watching on MTC Technologies in Mediapolis, Iowa.
That is indeed Mediapolis.
It's a media city. Translated loosely from Greek.
Nice
Joyce,
place, though.
Oh, yeah. Lovely people. We have, after we were talking about all the Sox fans in Iowa, we got a bunch of tweets the other day, back when we had a baseball game, from folks in Iowa. Very kind.
Well, I want to pass along best wishes, speedy recovery to a friend of mine who's from Iowa and bleeds Hawkeye, whatever colors they are. Fritz Gorin actually wears a Hawkeye everything when he's not wearing his favorite National League team, the Dodgers, and he is grieving this year because the Dodgers are off to a very slow start. So Fritz, get ready, get healthy, and get going quickly.
Is he a big Alan Alda fan?
The biggest.
He said he wore everything Hawkeye.
It's true. Yeah. But no, it's before his time.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
2 balls and a strike on Joyce. So 3-1. Lopez only the one walk, and that was really the intentional walk to Davis in between a couple of strikeouts in the first inning. (3-1) in there, strike two. Certainly power potential in this Oakland lineup, but the pitching staff has also given up ample home runs so far this year. Some high-scoring games for the A's at 6-10. Swing and a miss, strike three, off speed, down and out. And Joyce goes down. We told you about our affiliates in Iowa. We also have affiliate viewers in England, and this is Nick Clark, who just took a picture with us out at lunch the other day. He's from Birmingham, England. He came to Minneapolis in order to watch two White Sox games, Friday and Saturday, from England. Friday, Saturday, snowed out. Didn't get to see an inning of White Sox baseball.
Ah, but he got some fish and chips, judging by your wardrobe. What? Are you just back from Katrina?
Wow. To first. And there is out number two. Yeah, so I guess what we learned from that picture is Sox fans are everywhere, and I don't shave on days off. So file that one away. Thanks, Keon, for running that. Our intrepid producer, Keon Dolashahi. Thanks, buddy. 2 out for Lowry.
That was something I will never forget as long as I'm in this game, was being snowbound and under house arrest for 2.5 days. It was unbelievable in Minneapolis.
Well, we were talking about it earlier. We went outside for a couple of minutes and came back with ice in our hair. Ice! 2-0 on Lowry, who struck out in the first inning. Thanks for joining us tonight. We certainly know that it's late in Chicago, wherever you may be watching. We're glad to have you along this evening. He's Steve, I'm Jason, our entire crew. Two and 0. We've got Angie up here in the booth, our stage manager, with her hand warmers.
Well, that's unbelievable, is the fact that she has seen fit to get us both hand warmers, and in my case, other assorted warmers, which is really good because it is such chilly, but no rain, no snow, and no 1-2-3 inning here in the third as Lowry draws the walk, leaving it to the most powerful man on this team to get an opportunity.
It's Chris Davis. Hey, there's a ticket plan for every fan. Get access to every opponent with a partial ticket package, or handpick your game for the 10-game package, especially if your hands are warm. Secure your seats for the 2018 season today. For more info, 312-674-1000, or right now, visit whitesox.com. Met a couple of fans on the concourse, and ample Sox fans here at the ballpark this evening. Quite a few stopping by and deciding to take in a series out west. The Warriors, by the way, are playing right now as well, just across the way. A big series against San Antonio. Lowry at first, 2 out, and Davis the batter. Nearly got hit. Well, you said it when we were talking to Chuck and Bill, that if there's anything with Lopez, it's the command that sometimes is on the fritz.
Well, his command isn't pinpoint at this point because he's very young, but also with all the days off he's had. But I talked to Don Cooper about that before the game, and he mentioned something pretty interesting with each and every one of these pitchers. And we'll get to it later.
What a tease. In the air, right side, Avi. For out number 3. What did Don Cooper say to the Sox pitchers? We'll find out. That and more after this.
He's joined Ozzie Guillen, David DeJesus, and Leila Rohimi, and something like that for baseball night in Chicago tomorrow at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago. Leila continues to be the MVR BTT, the consistent rose between two thorns, as she always working with two different guys. She's the only consistent on that show. So Leila, nice job. Keep Ozzie and David in check.
Most valuable rose between two thorns?
That's it. Or the MVR BTT, as we know it in the business. It's an insider term.
I hope Leila's watching and is tweeting that right now. She just won an award that evidently a botanist presents.
You know, it's the least I could do, seeing as I mispronounced her name.
You were in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Rohimi. Ball and a strike. No, 1-2 Davidson.
Sorry, Leila. But any publicity is good publicity. You know, it's raining here, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to not mention it.
I thought we could dodge that, but no such luck.
The old umbrellas are coming out here at the Coliseum. The hoods are up. They used to be parasols when the sun was out. Now they're umbrellas.
How about bumper shoots?
Bumper shoots, yeah.
There you go.
2-2. Outside and low, 3-2. Matt walked in the first on a full count pitch. Yeah, that's a good getup. The problem is the right ear is going to get a little wet. You are getting sleepy. 3-2. Fastball challenged him. Strike three. Third punch out for Mingden. Hashtag SoxMath on Twitter. First correct answer wins, I don't know, a bottle of rain. Day in April the Sox last played on the calendar, multiplied by games in the Minnesota series that actually got played, minus number of games left in this road trip, including tonight, plus the number of hits Reynaldo Lopez allowed in his first two starts. Hashtag SoxMath. First correct answer wins a prize from the road that we will send you. One down for Nicky, who popped out his first time. What do you got on Mangden so far? Mingden.
He looks to me like the fastball sneaky fast. We knew that he topped out around 94. That's exactly where he is topping out tonight, except the hitters aren't reading it very well. So he's done a nice job of deception. Maybe it's that motion, which is most unusual. Very few pitchers in these days use it, and I think he works well for him. He's not overpowering it. The fastball certainly is good enough to go with all four pitches. Right now, not any one thing jumps out at you as far as pitch selection, but he's moving things around and for the most part getting it over the plate. Just that one walk to Davidson in the first.
On the ground, second base, and Lowry for out number 2. Let's play America's fastest growing sensation. It's called Rate the Baseball Mustache. Steve, 1 through 10.
I like it. I'm going to give it an 8, a good solid 8. It looked a lot better on Raleigh Fingers because he got everybody out, but it looks pretty good on Mingden. I would say it's right up there.
He's got the curls. I mean, that is vintage Raleigh.
Absolutely. Raleigh's was a little bit wider, a little bit darker, and a little bit more effective.
Effective mustache.
Yep. Nobody could hit him, so it was very effective.
Castillo rips it left side. Chapman had it clang off his glove, and Castillo is on. What a diving effort from Chapman to nearly thieve a hit from Wellington Castillo.
Keeps the inning alive, and a good play by Chapman. Diving to his left. This is a one-hop rocket. It's off the grass, not the dirt, so it skids along like a tennis ball will do at Wimbledon. Hits the end of the glove and bounds away. And for a moment, Marcus Semien thought he had a shot. He didn't. And I would have liked to seen Chapman come up throwing, because I want to get a good look at that arm. Hopefully, before this game's over, we'll see one down the line and see just exactly what he's got.
And he thinks it's pretty good.
98 as a closer in college. I would think the arm is exceptional.
And not for Northeast Penn State.
No.
For Cal State Fullerton, which is a powerhouse out here.
Big time program, has been for a long time. For a long time they were under Augie Garrido. He's moved on, but still the program continues to excel.
Hard hit again on the ground. Simeon, the underhand. Well, we continue scoreless, and we continue to play Rate the Baseball Mustache. Can you sneak it in before we go to break?
I give it a 9.
Well done. Presented by Guaranteed Rate, your home team throughout the season and the official mortgage provider of the Chicago White Sox. Get started today at rate.com. Thanks for joining us this lovely evening from the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. And Steve Stone has a message.
Well, there's a look at Ray Fosse on the left, Glenn Kuiper on the right. Ray Fosse, former teammate of Ken Harrelson, and wanted to say hello to Hawk. Ray was a great catcher, very strong man. He and Hawk very good friends, and you see the nachos between them. That's kind of nice. They do quite a bit of eating in that booth, and right now, not much offense to talk about, so you might as well eat something.
Well, that was poor timing.
Yeah.
In the air to right field, and gone. Olsen charges up a home run, and the A's are on the board first.
That's number 3 and number 6 driven in. So in a big spot, Olsen was a strikeout victim in the first inning with 2 on. This time leading off the 4th, he puts Oakland on top, 1-0. The Ford home run replay gets a low fastball, rides it out of the ballpark. Olsen's got big power, and he was fanned on off-speed pitches. 3 of them the first time up, got a low fastball first pitch, and took it way back. The wind is blowing that way, so anything up in the air is going out of the park.
And the A's, who came in top 5 in home runs in Major League Baseball, used the round tripper for their first run tonight. So here's Chapman. You can almost outsmart yourself, can't you? 3 straight curveballs to a strikeout first time around, then you try to sneak a fastball by him, and look out.
It was a location, not necessarily the pitch. If you throw that ball where you want to throw it, you can throw him a first ball fastball, get away with it, but for the most part, low out over the plate for a left-hand hitter is going to cost you all the time. But Ronaldo hasn't made many mistakes, and that was not necessarily one. Right pitch, wrong location, as Chapman down on strikes.
1 out. Here's your answer for Sox match, and we have a first-time winner. Long-time player, first-time winner, Carson Bates, 22. The 12th was the last time the Sox played. 1 game in the Minnesota series. That's 12 times 1, 12, minus 3 games left in the road trip, including tonight, 9, plus 4 hits allowed by Lopez his first 2 starts. That's 13. Congratulations to Carson Bates, 22. Back-to-back winners with the number 22 in the name. If you're checking your Sox Math game notes, it's a streak.
I think first-time winners breed guys with an opportunity to win twice. Write that down, will you please?
Careful on that limb.
Yep.
You were talking about the location on the fastball from Lopez. It was a low fastball. And you've talked about this before, about how much value you can get on high fastballs. And there's been a lot of research into that over the past couple of years. There's a new measure that people have called essentially effective velocity. That shows you get more perceived velocity from the batter. Your 95 can look 98 when it's up in the zone, but down in the zone, a fastball actually loses miles per hour to the batter's eye.
You need a shorter, quicker stroke on a high fastball. When it's a low fastball, you got more time to get to it. They call it dropping the head, and you can drop the head on the ball a lot easier than you can go up and get it. I talked with Marcus Semien, who's coming off a fractured wrist last year, and I talked to him about what pitches he had trouble handling. And Marcus said that he could handle a low fastball because he could go down and get it. It was the high fastball that he had a hard time getting on top of because of the fracture in his wrist. Now, we're not talking about guys with wrist problems. What we're talking about is the ability to go upstairs as opposed to go downstairs. And going downstairs is a lot easier than trying to catch up to a high fastball. So again, it was not necessarily pitch selection, it was location. Marcus Semien coming back told me that he was now 100%. He said, look, errors are going to happen. They look to him to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He hasn't done it a whole lot this year, but when he does, he's going to be a very valuable member in the 2 spot. He's already driven in 9 runs as a 2-hitter.
Happened early last year, so he never really got into that pocket that he was in the year before when he provided some really nice offense for this team.
Marcus, a very good man, former member of the Sox, and a very smart baseball player from just down the road, by the way.
Yeah, he's a Cal legacy.
And he went to Berkeley.
Oh, and 1. Now 2 strikes on Piscotty, who dunked one in for a double in the 2nd inning. 0-2.
Is that a pastry reference? Very nice.
It's late for the folks at home.
Gets late early. Canada does not run especially well. This is a tailor-made 2 if he can get the ground ball.
Well, you've gotten in this lineup right now Canna, Piscotty back to back. So in case you're short on cookies.
Mark Canna's just holding a spot, and they're waiting for Dustin Fowler. Remember him from the New York Yankees. He's going to be their center fielder, and it's just a question of getting him up here. And when they do, they believe the defense is going to be a whole lot better left to right.
1-2. Smoke to third. Yolmer's on it. Out number 2. Take that.
Boy,
says Yolmer.
I thought for just an instant he was playing him too low. But he was able to get upstairs, a little basketball in his past, quite obviously, and probably some in his future. As we'll take a look at a rocket, Yolmer at the top of his leap comes up with the presence of mind to take a look at first, thinking about the double play. Nice play by Yolmer. He saved the double and quite possibly more than that.
He may be sprightly and he may be fun-loving, but he's as competitive as anybody.
Saw it in ping pong when we were head-to-head at Sox Fest. We tied. Of course, I'll never play him again, but I'll always say that we tied. Yolmer and I, 1-1 in perpetuity. Nice play, Yolmer.
That's in there for a strike. 0-2 on Lucroy.
I asked Yolmer if we do play again, he's got to give me a spot because of age and infirmity and all those things. And I said, I'll play with a paddle, you play with a celery stalk. And he said he'd beat me anyway.
Then he'd smile on your face when he was done.
So he is really highly competitive.
The grinning assassin, Yolmer Sanchez.
He's a terrific athlete, has been since he signed.
0-2 high in the air, first base side, and this gets out of play.
You know, it's really funny because you say a guy's a good athlete and everybody assumes because they're in the major leagues they're good athletes. That's not the case. They're guys in the major leagues because they can really hit. And they're not the greatest athletes around. Yolmer's very athletic, can play any position on the field, could play the outfield certainly if you ask him to do that. And he's one of the better athletes around. The Sox have a lineup and an organization that has a lot of good athletes and also at the same time a lot of good baseball players, and sometimes they're one and the same.
We'll tell you about a couple of them later on in our minor league report. There's a breaking ball for strike 3 on the outside corner. This looked like a bubbling rally. However, Yolmer said, "No, sir." And he does it with a smile. Guaranteed rate, and it's Michael Kopech in the 20-year anniversary jerseys that the Charlotte Knights are wearing this year to replicate the '83 look from the Sox. And Kopech looks very much like the talented pitcher we heard about. 6 innings, 5 hits, and a death stare. 3 strikeouts from Michael. And once again, he was quite good in AAA for the Charlotte Knights. On the ground is shortstop, and a nice pick at first by Olsen to retire Anderson. So 1 away to start the 5th. That's a tote bag you can have as the White Sox take on the Astros Friday, April 20th, 7:10 p.m. First 20,000 fans get an MLB Network White Sox tote bag. Be sure to stay after the game for the first Friday night fireworks of the season. Buy your tickets today, right now, at whitesox.com. The Astros will be in town, and we look forward to seeing you for that weekend series with the defending champs on the way in second place in the division, in both the standings and in people's hearts, considering what Shohei Ohtani has done. You know, there was some sad folks in Kansas City land who wanted to see Ohtani pitch, but he has been, because of one of those postponements, pushed back to Tuesday against the Red Sox, it seems. Weather pending, certainly. Ball and a strike to Engel. Sox have left 4 on so far. 4 singles, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts against Daniel Mingden, the 25-year-old, who has been quite good. He gets a strike in the low portion of the zone, so 1-2 from Mingden to Engel, who beat out an infield single in inning number 3. One-two. Swing and a miss, late cut, and the 4th strikeout for Mingden this evening. So the ground ball to short from Anderson, and a swinging strikeout from Engel. Two down.
Marcus Semien appears so careful about making a throw that he double clutches just about everything. And on the guys that are hustling down the line, you can beat Marcus at first base. It was a good play over there on the play before. We've seen the corners. Olsen's been terrific digging out low throws at first base.
There's a strike to Yohan Moncada, who singled in the first, then bunted out in the third. He's 1 for 1 as he got a sacrifice on that bunt that moved Engel to second base. Sox coming into this game 3 for their last 47 with runners in scoring position. And you know that number fluctuates throughout the course of the season, but at some point you have to have it where you get a big hit to turn a game.
Well, I think if they can do it just a couple of times, it's probably going to shake up the whole baseball team. But so far, they're still looking for some answers. They can't find anybody. This guy's 0-10 in this ballpark. And yet, he's handcuffed the Sox on 4 singles. Moncada saw him very well the first time up.
Good hook. Maybe his best curveball of the night. 1-2-3 inning for Mingden. Chuck Garfien has an update after this. Winston-Salem tonight played one of the new teams in the Carolina League in A-ball. They played the Down East team, which is called the Wood Ducks. The Down East Wood Ducks.
Good nickname. Would they run out of names and they got the last pick?
Which raises the question, which we've all been wondering, how much duck does a wood duck duck?
Oh, God.
If a wood duck could duck wood.
Yeah. Usually I've heard it with Eddie Olchuk, but okay, the wood duck is okay.
What about Chuck Garfien? The massive shift is on. Moncada playing short right field, like a softball defense with number 10 as the second baseman. 2-0 on Joyce. Only run of this game is a solo shot from Matt Olson in the 4th inning. Reynaldo Lopez again has given up only 3 hits. They're all of the extra base variety as the Sox infield gathers on the right side. And it's 3-0. When the walks have happened in the last couple of innings, they've happened quickly. A 4-pitch walk to Lowry in the 3rd, a 5-pitch walk to Canna in the 4th. And this is a strike to run it to 3-1.
Here's where you might want to be careful, because Joyce does have some pretty good power and that wind's still howling out to right.
Close to the tip top of the zone. Instead, it's ball 4, leadoff walk. And we remind you, you can get the latest White Sox gear at the Chicago Sports Depot, your official store, the Chicago White Sox. Conveniently located by Gate 5 off of 35th Street. The depot can be accessed during games via the bridge by Section 145, and it's open 12 to 5 on non-game days. For current details and promotions and deals, follow the @White Sox store on Instagram. Nicky Delmonico fan hanging out here in Oakland. And Semien, with a double play in order, takes strike 1. Only a couple games going on right now in Major League Baseball, and they all, as you might expect, are on this coast, with the Dodgers at the Padres and the Astros playing the Mariners. Dallas Keuchel on the mound in a 1-1 tie in the 6th inning at Safeco Field. That Astros-Angels race is going to be rather entertaining if the first couple weeks are any indication.
Well, the Angels are starting to believe in themselves, and a lot has to do with Ohtani, because whether he's throwing it or hitting it, he's already a huge lift to that team. Factor in Trout, and the fact that Albert Pujols still has a little something left. That's turning out to be a very good team.
.95 for a strike from Lopez. 1-2 on Semien. Sox won't see the Angels at home until September this year, the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
That might not be a bad thing, because Albert might be wearing down at that point. However, if they are in the race, you'd have to think that that team is going to be red hot and raring to go.
Called strike 3. Lopez punches out Semien, and strikeout number 6 for Reynaldo Lopez tonight.
Perfect location. That one darts at the end, and Marcus frozen. He cannot pull the trigger, but Mike DeMuro can. I talked with Mike's brother Ray this morning, as a matter of fact. Ray, in the financial business in Arizona, and a very good one. It's an umpiring family. Ray, no exception. He was an umpire. Now deciding that he can make a few more bucks doing what he's doing.
First base side, Moncada is going to throw out Lowry at first. Joyce to second base. And the Sox do get an out thanks to the range of young Yohan Moncada.
That was a good play by Abreu, because once that ball went to his right, he realized that there's a very good chance Moncada was going to get it. He knew he was playing Lowry to pull. Well, gets by him. He hustles to the bag down on his knees to make sure they get one. Nice play by Yohan as he covers up to his left. This is a good effort. Good coordination between Jose and Yohan. And Joyce moves into scoring position. Again, the last time they pitched around Davis in the first inning, he struck out Olsen on soft stuff. Last time, a fastball went out of the ballpark as the only run of the ball game off the bat of Olsen.
Davis lights this ball up deep to center field. Engel has no play. It clangs off the wall. And it's 2-0 Oakland.
So just perhaps the last home run by Olsen led to this double by Davis. He drives in his 13th run of the year, picks on the first pitch, takes it high off the wall, almost out of the park. And Davis with good coverage, and Engel running out of room. The leadoff walk comes back to haunt Reynaldo, as so often happens, with not only rookie pitchers, but veteran pitchers alike.
Well, the numbers don't lie. They hate the leadoff walk.
Yep, that's true.
But isn't it interesting, the development of the importance of that Olsen spot where we are now in the order? You mentioned it. He strikes out on 3 breaking balls in the first inning. You feed him a fastball in the 4th. He powers it out, and then suddenly you don't want to go by Davis, as you said, to get to him. And that one swing actually ends up, in some ways, creating both runs in this game so far. The vocal portion of this crowd did not like that strike call against Olsen. Davis at second, 2 down. And Moncada again in right field on the shift. And Tim Anderson playing behind second base. So a massive hole on the left side of the infield, and also in short right field wide of Moncada to his right.
Let's take a look at Matt Joyce. Now this is very important because Matt Joyce knows they're not going to get him at the plate, but he knows there's 2 outs, so he takes it easy, realizing there might be a play at second. Then he has to speed up, because if the play at second means he's out before Joyce scores, the run does not score. So Joyce, a veteran, realizing with a play possibly at second with Davis, he had to pick it up and score before that play happened. As it turned out, there was no play, but a heads-up play by Joyce.
3-1 on the edge, 3-2. You saw that moment when it clicked in for Joyce.
When he said, I better get going or I'm going to cost my team a run. And of course, he was making sure that it was safety first in case there just happened to be a play.
Yeah, one of those timing plays where you don't want to force the umpires to have to make a choice whether or not you got that run. 3-2 from Lopez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There he gets maximum value from a high fastball. Olson knocked down, but the A's get one more.
America's best internet service provider, and it's Powder River. High fastball. Olson goes down on strikes. Looks to beat to the naked eye about 97. Too stout for Olson as he strikes out to end the inning for the second time tonight. Unfortunately, there was a home run sandwiched in between in this 2-0 game.
A's with a run in the 4th and 5th. And here is Avisail Garcia to lead off and take a strike here in the 6th. Sox are looking for their first run since Wednesday, as Lopez has gone 5 so far.
You would think third time through the order would be the charm. With Garcia, Abreu, Davidson, anybody gets on, Delmonico, and hopefully on and on through the lineup. But the third time they're seeing a guy they haven't seen a whole lot of.
Fouled away left side, 0-2. Daniel Mingden, who has never made a start against the Sox in his career until this game. And we told you, he's never won a start in this ballpark, his home ballpark, for his major league career.
He's working on a gem here tonight, and so far he has befuddled our Sox and mystified them.
The both. Breaking ball, Avi parachutes it into center field. One away. By the way, Canna in center. Do not transport him to Minneapolis, because if he's wearing that here tonight, who knows what he would look like in that blizzard we just came from the Twin Cities.
Well, you'd have to figure that he's a whole lot cooler than we are. And right now, it is not pleasant. So when you take a look at where he's from, it answers all the questions. He's from San Jose, California, which is just down the road. And even though we did play here in Oakland last year, he's gold.
Chapman, there's the arm. 2 down here in the 6th.
He didn't need the arm. That was a floater across, but good mobility to his left. There's some that say that right now he is overall better than Arenado, which is high praise. To even be considered in that class, that's something special.
There's something too knowing when to take a bit off of the fastball at third too, to be on target and make sure you get it there.
You know, Bob Melvin has always been very honest with me in evaluating his players. He tells me that he feels for him that Chapman's the best he's ever seen. Now, granted, down through history, there's been some guys that were considered state of the art. Brooks Robinson won. Robinson never had the arm of these young guys, but he had great mobility to either side. Chapman can do just about everything down there, including charging bunts. He hasn't had to charge any tonight because nobody's bunted, which is a good thing in a 2-0 game. You don't expect it from Davidson. Don't expect it from Delmonico unless the inning would stay alive, and you never know, trying to get on to leave it to Castillo. But they haven't even put the pressure yet on Chapman. You can understand why. They're just getting a look at what Mangden has to offer.
Davidson to right center field. Canna at the warning track makes the play. Warm, cozy, and cushy into the wall. The 1-2-3 inning for Mangden because of this from Canna. Dressed as Sub-Zero tonight in some cold temperatures. Mangden loves it. Oakland 2, Sox nothing, 6th inning with Steve Stone, Jason Benetti, our entire crew here in Oakland. Thanks for joining us wherever you may be across the United States or elsewhere, as we saw our friend Nick from Birmingham in England earlier. We've heard from some Iowans again as we keep having affiliates to say hello to in Iowa, and we are glad for that. Some great Sox fans in Iowa. 2-0 from Lopez. Hey, it's a Hawkeye.
There you go. It looks like exactly like Kerry Byer. But
you know people from the jacket?
I do. Yeah, Kerry has a very distinctive Hawkeye jacket. Along with Mike Gatens. Looks like Mutt and Jeff a little bit, but They both wear that Hawkeye jacket proudly.
It's amazing. Ernie Harwell always knew who caught the foul ball, and you always know who's in the Hawkeye jacket.
There you go. We got a lot of very nice folks from Iowa that are involved in our coffee club in Arizona.
Called strike 3. Lopez gets the punch out. Castillo froze for a second. So did Chapman. And there was some confusion, but Lopez will take it. Strikeout number 8.
So Chapman is not ecstatic with this call of Mike DeMuro, but I'm sure Ronaldo thought it was just enough. Nice job by Wellington. He eases it back in the zone, buys the strike. Chapman will have a seat and leave it to Canha, who's been outstanding defensively tonight in center field.
This might be the first game of the year where I think you and I can say that neither bench is terribly thrilled with the strike zone's consistency. We've seen some very good umpiring this year.
We have that, and you know, look, everybody can't have a great night every night, and I don't think by and large that Mike has had a bad night. It's just that there's been some calls, especially late, that players have objected to. But again, he's not going to adjust to their strike zone. They're going to have to adjust to his. And he's had a substantial plate tonight. It hasn't been 17 inches. It's been around 21 inches, with certainly a couple inches on either side of the plate. If hitters know that, they realize they cannot afford to take anything late, and they have, and at times it's cost them.
Two strikes from Lopez on pitch number 102 forthcoming.
I think there's going to be a fastball away. Let's see if he can freeze him.
He got him swinging. Strike 3. So 3 consecutive strikeouts for Lopez dating back to the 5th. He's got stuff, Steve.
There's no doubt about that, and anybody will tell you that watches his stuff, it's really tough to square it up. He's still a very young pitcher, but you can't teach late movement. You can't teach arm strength. And with the bullpen up and going, it looks like Ronaldo wants to finish this one up himself. He's not going to go beyond this inning.
Nine strikeouts is his most for the Sox. Reynaldo Lopez.
You got Lucroy in the on-deck circle. Not that you want to put on Piscotty, but he has been the one guy that's really seen Lopez well in 2 at-bats.
Hard line out to third, and a double just left of center the first time around.
Outfield is not overly deep, especially in center field, where Adam Engel can go get him. But there's a lot of room over his head at the 400 mark in this ballpark. Good spot for that, right in under his hands. You can't catch up there.
So what's it best now to pair that with to get the strikeout, as you see Volstad, the right-hander, and then Avilan loosening up?
Well, everybody thinks the slider away. Best pitch is a fastball right inside, right again, right where the last one was, except that Wellington wants it away.
Strike 3. Well, if that's the farewell, it was electric from Reynaldo Lopez. Self-clapping and a 2-0 lead for Oakland. Show me the Chicago White Sox into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Daniel Mingden has been a menace so far tonight to the Sox with just 4 hits allowed, the last one being in the 4th inning.
Only 73 pitches and nobody up in the pen, so Bob Melvin wants him to go deep in this one and take the pressure off the bullpen. And how about a dog? I can guarantee you they're not dollar dogs like Wednesdays at the ballpark.
Into right field, Piscotty for out number 1. Reynaldo Lopez, ostensibly, we think, just finished his game with 10 strikeouts, and here's his welcome from Lucas Giolito, Carson Fulmer, members of the rotation, Matt Davidson as well.
I'd be very surprised if he went back out at his pitch total, but 10 strikeouts, 4 walks, just 4 hits, trailing 2-0. But Lopez showed why he's got top of the rotation stuff. And he's only going to get better, folks. It's going to be frightening to face him because right now there's not a lot of guys jumping for joy at the prospect of going out 3 or 4 times against him.
He's even better than we saw last year.
There's no doubt that he's going to keep on getting better. And when he does, when he gets a slider consistently in the zone to go with a changeup that's improving and a fastball that's popping at 97, 98 on occasion, wait till he gets warm and he really gets loose.
Ooh, strike 2.
I think, in fact, that look, I understand Mike Rizzo's motivation, who is the president and GM of the Washington Nationals. It was win now for him. He had a team built to win, and so he thought the missing piece of the puzzle was Adam Eaton. When you get a chance to win, you go for it. It cost him dearly. Rick Hahn and all of his evaluators made just a great trade, and we're going to pay dividends from that trade for a long time. With Lucas Giolito, number 1 or 2 starter stuff. Reynaldo Lopez, probably better stuff overall than Giolito, but not the pitchability that Lucas has. And Dane Dunning, as good a control as anybody in the organization. Those 3 have a chance to be all building blocks. And we wish Adam Eaton well. He's on the disabled list once again. Hopefully he comes back and he gives the Nationals what they need. But you can never question a trade of a little bit of today for a great deal of tomorrow. And when you're a contender, when you have a chance to win, those are the kind of trades you make.
That was a rotation builder for the Sox.
Absolutely, and that one will, in the future, be noted as one of the great trades the Sox ever made.
2-2 on Castillo. Sox down 2-0 thanks to a home run from Oakland's Matt Olson in the 4th, and then Chris Davis with an RBI double in the 5th. It's game 1 of the series. 2-2 on the ground. Simeon at shortstop. Out number 2. Hey, Sox fans, back by popular demand. Chicago White Sox are offering a limited edition cancer ribbon White Sox cap for $29.99. $10 in every cap sold. Will support White Sox charities and Rush University Medical Center in cancer research. Caps are available in park and at the Chicago Sports Depot for a limited time. Get your hat today and join the team for a great cause.
It's a Sox fan who is enjoying the game but not enjoying the score. But the Bears hat next to him, that's more like the weather here. However, we'll take it after what the ball club has been through.
Yeah, in Minneapolis it was 30 and snowy, and as the Sox were waiting to get on the bus to go to the airport on Sunday, there was a long line at the coffee shop in the hotel as Sanchez flies it into center field, and we'll tell you what that has to do with Yolmer Sanchez's name change when we come back. 2-0 Oakland.
Waiting with bated breath for the Yolmer story as Luis on for the 6th time. He's been real good. ERA just over 2. And as you can see, left-handers have hit him a little better than the right-handers, which shows a good changeup. Luis Garcia comes in the ballgame defensively. So Nicky Delmonico out of the game. And Luis Garcia in the game with the bottom part of the order to face Luis Avilan, a welcome addition to the bullpen.
So as we were going to break, I was mentioning that when it's cold outside, as you might know, that there's a long line at the coffee shop, as there was when the Sox were getting on the bus to go to the airport in Minneapolis to fly here to Oakland on Sunday. And I happened to be in line at the coffee shop behind Yolmer Sanchez. And he was ordering, and he puts in his order. And the person behind the counter, as people are prone to do at a coffee shop, asked for his name. And he said Yolmer, which is his first name. And the person looked down at the register, and one of those moments, as if to say, and then looked back up, sucked it up, and said, "Yeah, how do you spell that?" And Yolmer took a beat, thought for a second about how that goes for him, and said, "Carlos." So he changed his name back to write it on the coffee cup.
But that's his nom de plume when he's ordering coffee, so that nobody really knows who he is, and you can understand where he'd like to fly under the radar, incognito, or remain unanimous, as it were.
He also still signs autographs as Carlos Sanchez.
That's part of what he's been since adopting Yolmer last year. We had a great year. I don't blame him for coming back with Yolmer this year.
Avilan misses.
Had a chance to meet Sebastian, the first and only child, but the first son, obviously, of Luis and his lovely wife. And he's breaking him in right at a Brazilian steakhouse in Minneapolis. You got to respect that. The kid ate like a champ. I will tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yep.
Keep bringing food to a kid? What, are you going to say no?
Absolutely.
I feel the same. 3-2. Fouled off. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. You can watch on multiple screens. You can be watching the Sox right now. And frankly, you can watch a Sox game from the other day if you want. 2 Sox games at once if you care to. There's ball 4. Lucroy takes a walk, and here's something that you might see if you're clicking around Major League Baseball. We call it Around Major League Baseball. Bartolo Colon last night took a perfect game into the 8th inning. 7 2/3, 1-hit ball for Bartolo, who made his Major League debut in 1997 in a lineup that Matt Williams, the current third base coach for the A's, was in behind Bartolo.
But you also mentioned he has one other distinction that nobody else in the major leagues can claim, and that is?
He played in the Astrodome.
Wow. Place that had rats the size of cats. I played there also a little before Bartolo did.
But not much.
Not much before he did. But it was an interesting place. And I will tell you, there are probably, even though it's gone, there are probably still assorted rodents still scurrying around.
At the site?
They were enormous. Never seen anything like it in my life. And when somebody described it to me, I couldn't believe it until I actually saw one with some Samsonite luggage moving out of town when they destroyed the place.
On the bunt, a mishandle, the recapture, and safe.
This play could have been made a number of times, and Jose was thinking about second base before he corralled the ball. Luis then had an opportunity, but threw the ball down. Moncada couldn't corral it, and so 2 on, nobody out. This is just a misplay. It's probably going to go E3. And it goes sacrifice E3. Joyce lays down a pretty good bunt, forcing Jose, who's thinking about second base, to miss it, and then they still had a shot at first. If this is played cleanly, Joyce is going to be thrown out. It wasn't, and he wasn't. But there is some problems here in the 7th.
Yeah, a bumpy road right now for Luis Avilan. Jose trying to keep the troops' morale up defensively. Simeon waits for Avila to pirouette.
Danny Farquhar loosening up in the bullpen. He undoubtedly is getting ready for the Davis-Olson part of this lineup at 4 and 5 respectively.
Off speed, strike one. There is Danny Farquhar, who has been a member of the Oakland Athletics a couple of times. He was a waiver claim back in 2012. He was traded to Oakland in a deal for Rajay Davis in 2010. Simeon has looked out of sorts tonight at the plate.
I just think watching him go after off-speed pitch, he can't wait back. Unless he finds some sort of timing device for that front leg, it's going to be difficult for him. But a couple of years ago, he was a force offensively, and he's expecting that it's going to come back to him now that the wrist is entirely healthy.
0-2. Line to right field. Avi charging. Stop sign from Matt Williams at third. And the bases are loaded for Oakland in the 7th with nobody out.
Two count, and he just lifts it into right field. So Avi gets to it quickly, no chance to score. Leaves him loaded. Jed Lowry coming up. Not much to choose from, left or right-handed. Right-handed hitting .364. He came in left-handed hitting .341. Now he's got much more power from the left side. But when you go to face him in a key situation, you want to face him as a right-hand hitter. That's why Farquhar is not in the game for the moment.
Already 4 3-hit games this season for Lowry. Quarter of the games as he's opened 23 out of 68 at the plate.
He's always been a quality hitter. The only question for Jed is, can he stay healthy long enough to get all of that production that he has out? The answer to this point most of the time is he can't stay healthy long enough. The Athletics are hoping he does this year.
Came into tonight second in the majors in hits with those 23, and tied for second in the American League with 38 total bases. He's expanded that to 39 with a 3rd inning walk, and Avila trying to get a ground ball as Lowry cues it foul.
One of his best years by far, 2013, in that same uniform he's wearing now. He had .290, 15 home runs. He drove in 75. That is a career high for him. Last year drove in 69 runs with a .277 batting average, and that was good. Appeared in 153 games, so he did stay entirely healthy last year. All he needs is health, and he's a big member of this club.
There's a ground ball, and it goes through Anderson's wickets. Tim couldn't handle it. Now a bobble and left. The A's will get another base out of the deal, and it's 4-0 Oakland.
Boy's not picking up the baseball too well this inning, and it's not one of their better efforts. Tim just took his eye off it, so both Jose and Tim were thinking about two before they got one. An easy 6-4-3 double play until this. Lurie comes over, misses that. And so this one is not going into any defensive clinics anytime soon. It's E6, but is 1 run driven in, and things are falling apart here late for the Sox as Danny Farquhar will come into the game, and as Avilan leaves and Farquhar comes in, we'll step out. Be back after these messages. night party. That's Thursday, April 26th at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Bridgeport. The fun starts at 5:30 with a taping of Beer Money, followed by Sports Talk Live on location, and then watch live NFL draft reaction with Lawrence Holmes and Alex Brown. That is the authentic fan draft night. Lakeside Bank, call to the pen. Time now for the call to the pen. It's about time. It's about time to catch the ball as Danny Farquhar comes in the ball game on for the 6th time. He's thrown it well, and he could use a double play.
Ground ball. Tim to second. Relay is there. Double play. A's get one more. Sox take 2 outs.
Nice play by Anderson, Moncada, and on to Abreu. That was a dandy. So the same guys having some problems turn in a very, very nice double play. Tim to his right smothers the short hop, gets it over to Yohan, who quickly gets it to first, and 2 outs, but it's now 5-0. Good play, though, in the middle infield.
This is one of those innings that typifies the type of season the Sox were planning on having.
There's no doubt young players are going to make mistakes, and mistakes have abounded this inning, but get them all out of their system now. They're facing a guy that is giving up nothing anyway. So Mingden is just getting the job done, and nobody's ever found a way to win a game without scoring any runs. So credit him with just completely stifling the offense, and Sox would have had to been letter perfect, and as good as Ronaldo Lopez was tonight, and he was very good. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 runs on 4 hits with 4 walks. He was overwhelming at times. But when you're facing a guy like Mingden tonight, a guy who'd never won in this ballpark, you figure if you give up any, it's too many, and tonight no exception.
He didn't have the stuff of Jose Barrios, but the pitchability was pretty high, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he just has moved the ball around, throwing very well. Still nobody up in the pen. He still has a minimum of pitches considering what he's accomplished to this point. And Bob Melvin's going to let him go, and why not?
Strike 3. Danny Farquhar cleans up on aisle 7. Mingden coming back out, 5-0. Guaranteed rate field from the Huntington Bank Stadium Club. Memberships are available to season ticket holders, and it's also perfect for non-game day events, including weddings and corporate parties. For more information regarding the Huntington Bank Stadium Club, call 312-674-1000. And here is the man who has stifled the bats so far, Daniel Mingden, 25-year-old Texan by way of Texas A&M. Given up only 4 hits so far.
Overall, he's made his manager and his pitching coach, and certainly his defense, very happy because he's worked quickly, thrown a lot of strikes, just held down the offense completely. He had some problems in the first inning. Sox had 2 on, a pop-up by Delmonico, and out of the inning. Other than that, they really haven't had a whole lot of shots at him. 10 in a row retired by Mingden.
Check swing, and he did go around. So Tim down 0-2. A couple of ground balls for Anderson tonight. Mingden. That's a foul ball.
Daniel Mingden showed last year that maybe he was starting to figure it out after going 2-9 in 2016. Last year he was at Nashville a good portion of the year. He was hurt, but he came to Oakland, started 7 games, was 3-2 with a 3.14 ERA, only gave up 9 walks in 43 innings. So he got the ball over the plate consistently, and he's shown perhaps what the Astros saw when they drafted him in the 4th round of 2014. He was on the DL last year, and that cost him quite some time from March 30th to May 19th, where he needed pretty much a spring training to come back.
Brush to third, and Chapman, who flashes the cannon arm he's got for out number 1. This day in White Sox history, you may remember, but don't blink. As you remember, Mark Buehrle once again with an absolute gem, but a rapid-fire gem. Complete Game 3 hitter against the Mariners. 1 hour, 39 minutes.
I was there. I was there in the stands, and I was sitting there watching Buehrle. He was head-to-head with Ryan Franklin, I believe, and some guy came in with his family, his wife and his 2 children. They came in the 6th inning, and I looked at him and I said, Buehrle? All he did was point to his wife, and about, maybe 32 minutes later, the game was over. So he got to see 32 minutes in what was a gem. And the fact that I was sitting in the stands, I was a fan that year, and I really enjoyed it. And watching Mark Buehrle was a pleasure then, as it was throughout his career.
It's funny that you mentioned 32 minutes worth of that game, because I was just interested in what the fastest game in baseball history is, and there's records of something like an hour 15-minute game in the majors, but according to the Sporting News, among other sources, the fastest professional baseball game in history came in the minors, August 30th of 1916.
It was under an hour, wasn't it?
It was. It was 31 minutes between Asheville and Winston-Salem. The Winston-Salem Twins at the time. One of the teams had a train to catch.
Well, imagine if they didn't have commercial breaks then, how short that game would have been. On the gramophone.
Yeah, phonograph. There was an afternoon train that one of the teams had to catch. And so off they went. Base runners just ran around till they got tagged out. The 2 runs for the winning team got scored on homers. You hit it out of the park or you're out.
I like the concept.
Getaway
Especially
day.
Getaway day.
They never had any pace of play issues in the North Carolina State League in 1916.
I think they sent the fans home with their souvenirs from the concession stands so they could eat them at home.
Into left field, that's a base hit for Adam Engel. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
5 singles given up, and Adam has the pair. Moncada leading off the game with a single. Then Sanchez with a single. Castillo with a single in the 4th. A hanging breaking ball sent Adam down to 1 knee, and he was still able to hit the ball into left field. So a promising night from Adam Engel.
Yeah, good signs. He's now 6 out of 32 for the year. Couple of singles tonight, including one that he beat out on the infield in the 3rd. So here is Moncada. Still pitch number 95 on the way for Mingden.
For the first time tonight, the Athletics have the bullpen up and going. There he is. Yasmero Petit, who's been a starting pitcher at various times throughout his career. You remember him with a number of different teams. He was right across the bay with the Giants at one point. And he is a handy man to have around in that he can go multiple innings if need be.
Three-run inning for Oakland in the bottom of the 7th. 3 errors in the inning for the Sox. Olsen a homer in the 4th, Davis an RBI double in the 5th, and there's your scoring in tonight's game 1 of this series. Tipped into the glove, 1-2.
By the way, the fine folks of Iowa have tweeted in, now that I can work Twitter, it helps certainly, that the colors are old gold and black. By the way, I believe was the salutation. Yes, old gold, which is the only gold I have at this point.
Yeah, young gold is.
Well, there's Ari Gold.
Yeah.
But he's off the air. So we know now the colors of the Hawkeyes. And that's good, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Mediapolis, Iowa, once again, tweeting in.
Not only the recognition of the fans and listening, but tweeting in also.
It's called strike 3. Moncada punched out. 2 away.
Soft breaking ball. And everything's working. As Bill, the curve is his best breaking ball. He throws the slider also, a straight change, but pretty much fastball curveball tonight, mixing in assorted other pitches. There is the called third. The backwards K, as Mingden has just done a tremendous job.
As we mentioned, he came through Texas A&M, which has become a powerhouse program, especially with an eye toward pitching. And they have a couple quirks at that ballpark in College Station. You saw the strikeout totals here in Oakland. This ball is into right center field. Canna at the warning track cuts in front of Piscotti, and that will do it. So, Sox still trail bottom 8 now. Think about carrying 3 catchers, and his answer was a very quick no. So we'll see what Kevin can do down in the minors and exactly what that does to the Sox catching situation. And speaking of the battery, there's a new man on the mound.
Chris Volstead comes in the ballgame out for the 2nd time. You saw what happened the 1st time, and he was recently recalled from the minor leagues. So, you know, you can carry 3 catchers. However, it gives you 1 less move out of your bullpen, which is something that Ricky knows with the games starting to pile up with all of the rainouts and all of the makeups, you can't really afford the third catcher. It truly is a luxury. Very few teams can do that unless one of the guys can catch and also play a couple of other positions.
By the way, if you haven't heard, speaking of those rainouts, there has been an announcement of when those games will be replaced, and it ends up being 2 double headers for the Sox and Twins, and then 1 mutual off day that gets buried for the Sox and Twins. That comes up on the 20th of August before the Sox host the Twins back at Guaranteed Rate Field. And actually, minimal damage to the schedule considering what happened this weekend.
I think, you know, for the Sox, it probably won't matter at that point, but for the Twins, it's of vital importance that you ease those games into the schedule without disrupting too much. And when you realize that a couple will be played on the off day in late September, the rosters will have expanded. And so postponements yesterday abounding. And today, after 6, there's 3 postponements today. And so, you know, they're going to pile up. You've got to play them sometimes, and it's going to get really tough, especially for the contending teams. For the other teams, it's no big deal. You expand your roster, especially in September. But for the contending teams, it's going to be very difficult for them.
Especially as you try to set up a rotation, going for the playoffs. And by the way, the Sox and Twins came out unscathed compared to other teams like the Tigers and Yankees, who only play 1 series in each venue, and the Cubs and Braves, who only play 1 series in each venue. The fact that it was a divisional series helped both the Sox and the Twins with those 3 straight weather outs. You can't even call them snow outs because Friday was like sleet. Saturday was a blizzard, and then Sunday was blizzard remnants, and then more snow.
Pretty amazing. I think the total in some places in Minneapolis was up to 13 inches of snow. Just typical April.
3-2, and that's up high. It's a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. 6 walks for Oakland tonight.
Now batting center fielder, number 20.
Sox and A's will do it again tomorrow night. It's a 7:05 local time start, 9:05 Central Time, with Miguel Gonzalez scheduled to throw. And it looks like, according to reports, that Trevor Cahill is going to be on the mound for Oakland to fill that rotation spot, which, for those of you classic rock fans, it seems as though if he were to pitch, he would keep his walkout song of Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit that we would hear tomorrow as he loosens up.
One of my favorite groups, by the way.
Jefferson Airplane?
Well, Starship, actually. We Built This City.
Yeah.
One of the great songs ever. Surprised it didn't win 20 Grammys.
So if you were rating them, Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, and just Starship, how would you, 1 through 3, what's the medal stand look like?
I think they're all right at the top.
That's not how a medal stand works.
True.
There are 3 different levels.
To me, Gracie Slick was as good as there was. So, you know, she was probably better than any other singer ever. She makes Adele look like Pee Wee Herman.
So, paraphrasing, set fire to the broadcast is what.
Paraphrasing, there was too much snow in Minneapolis for me. I'm delusional.
What's the secret word, folks? 1-2 on Canna. Sox are trailing 5-0, 3 in the 7th for Oakland tonight. On the ground and past Anderson into left center field. Chapman revs it up into third, and runners at the corners. Ball gets away. Canna peels off for second. No movement at third from Chapman. The A's get another extra base on a throwaway, and it's second and third. Nobody out in the 8th inning.
Base hit E8. Careless throw costs another bag. And this is one you're just going to forget about because not much has happened well tonight. Hard hit ball gets by Tim. That part is fine. This part, not so good. Throw gets away, and Nobody there.
Mama said there'll be days like this.
Tomorrow you'll come out. This is going to be a memory. Not a good memory, but a memory nonetheless. And what you have to do when you have a game like this is take a look at some of the good points, figure out how you got where you did, understand that you're going to have defensive letdowns, but when the offense is not clicking, everything else is magnified. And of course, you don't see 3 errors in 1 inning too often, and that was just a careless error.
So the
Bullpen's
fourth,
still up and going.
yeah, the 4th error goes up on the board on the throw. So 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And we've talked about it. The 7th inning, 6th, 7th inning for this team is going to be kind of mix and match. Who gets the call and who has the opportunity. And it's not as though Luis Avilan didn't get what he wanted at points in that half inning. It was a matter of the defense not finishing the deal behind him.
And the infield in at all 4 positions.
Two and one. Ripped up the middle. Stop sign at 3rd. And it's 6-0.
Now batting the catcher, 21, Jonathan.
Ricky going to hit over his set of signs. One of them is getting out. And that one back up the middle, hard hit, leaving runners at the corners. And the Oaklands are piling it on.
This the eve of their 50th anniversary celebration of the Coliseum. Free tickets to 200,000 in the area, and they expect a jam-packed house. Upper deck uncovered for tomorrow's affair, and it's going to be very interesting to see what the atmosphere is like around here.
I don't believe I've ever seen the upper deck uncovered for baseball. You saw it for football, but not baseball, not for a long time, not since the glory days of this ballpark when they were winning 3 straight World Series. And that was a long time ago.
Volstad has the runner caught up. Canna between 3rd and home. And there is the out. He's out of the baseline. The tag was on, but not with the ball. But once the tag is placed, the baseline is created. And when you're out of the baseline with the tag, that's an out. And there it is, 1 away.
That was a well played effort by Castillo, only in that he made sure that the rundown was run back to 3rd and no advancement. So Volstad did what he's supposed to do. You run at the runner, you make him commit, and then Wellington just tags him out, with Bill Miller saying, yep, he is indeed out, and no advancement. So now a double play gets out of the inning. Volstad will depart, and we'll step out. Be back after these messages.
Please.
anniversary celebration of the Oakland Coliseum. Some of the all-time greats in Oakland jerseys getting to enjoy the festivities. Some big burly guys like Jose and Ricky.
There will always be Ricky. He was a wonderful player. As good a leadoff man as there was, because he could hit it out of the park. He could take a walk, and when he did, he stole second base and possibly third. So Aaron Bummer comes in the ball game, trying to stem the tide. Ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
Your Lakeside Bank call to the bullpen. Bummer, 4 innings so far. He's been a matchup left-hander predominantly. And down low with a fastball, 1-1. Two and one to Matt Joyce, who has scored 2 runs tonight. He's doubled, he's walked. He reached on an error in the 7th and struck out in the 3rd. Lucroy and Piscotti on. That ball slashed foul. Sox and A's will play again tomorrow night, 9:05 Central Time. Once again, Miguel Gonzalez on the hill against likely Trevor Cahill, and then the series finale, Carson Fulmer and Andrew Triggs. Lock horns.
I'm looking forward to see Carson out there once again, and I think he's going to do a whole lot better than he did last time out.
Well, his first start of the year was one of his best with the Sox, would you say?
He was very good that day. Last time out, could not repeat his motion and missed a whole lot of times more than he missed the first time out, so we'll see. I think he's going to improve drastically.
Two. Joyce takes inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Simeon on deck. Sox in the 9th bring up Abreu, Davidson, and Garcia, as there is Marcus Simeon.
Joyce has had a good night. A leadoff double came to nothing, and then he's been on twice with a sacrifice, an error, and a walk, and he scored twice. So busy night for him.
High into the night sky. Garcia for out number 2. Sox opened the year at 3-2 on that first road trip, and since then have won just 1 of the last 7 coming into this game. And it has been an offensively based team when the wins have come this year, but the last couple of games light on the runs, and game 3 against Tampa Bay, Sox didn't get those 2 runs that they won with until the 8th inning on a Matt Davidson 2-run homer.
Well, it has always been the case. When you're not scoring at all, everything else is magnified. And, you know, you score 10 and you win 10-6, nobody complains. But you lose 6-1 or 2, and a couple of plays lead to the 6 runs, and all of a sudden you say, well, what's going on? What's going on is when you don't score, it's really tough to win baseball games, especially in this era of baseball where the ball is flying out of the park very often.
With great frequency. So Bummer thinks it over. And by the way, tomorrow night, mentioned all the tickets that are out. Most everything's going to be general admission. So it's going to be a free-for-all.
It is that. And so, you know, they've already told the family that the seats are probably going to be upstairs in a club, because the fans will be all over. I mean, they'll be down. The ones who get here early will get great seats. They'll be sitting closer than they might have ever sat at this ballpark. But it's going to be quite a day, and the Athletics are going to really enjoy playing in front of a packed house. It used to be like that a lot. It hasn't been like that a lot lately.
Our crew's telling us that the parking lots are opening at noon tomorrow. So you're going to get here and fry up some brats.
I'm getting here at 10 o'clock in the morning because I want to be able to do my research and feel comfortable without having to battle the crowd to get in. So if you want to join me, we're renting a truck. It leaves at 7:30.
You were supposed to say you don't fry brats, you grill brats.
I don't eat brats, so you can do whatever you want. Fry them, grill them, do whatever. Now, Italian sausage, we have a different story. But brats, not so much.
What about brat burgers? Never had one of those?
Nope.
Kind of tasty.
Good. I'll save them for you.
Just to grill them up before fire games at Soldier Field. 3-2. Ground ball foul. That close-up shot of Yolmer in foul territory looks like he's just in the middle of an open field. Grass everywhere. Nobody around.
Been like this from the beginning of this ballpark. And pitchers absolutely loved it here.
There's ball 4.
Now batting second baseman, great Jed Lowry.
It's a good look. Stylish here in Oakland. Bases loaded. Smoked foul right side by Lowry. He's walked. He's got an RBI. He's grounded out and he struck out. Also reached on an error in that 3-error 7th inning. Left side and through. Oakland gets a couple more as the ball trickles in and the A's have a snowman. It's 8-0.
Lowry drives in his 15th and 16th run of the year. So hitting in the middle of this lineup with the table setters consistently getting on base has allowed Jed Lowry to have what appears to be his banner season. His all-time high is 79 driven in. He's set to fly by that. And that's from both sides of the plate. He's getting the job done.
Sturdy offense certainly here in Oakland. It's the 8th batter of the inning. And strike 1 on Davis, who's driven in a run in the 5th with an RBI double tonight. He also got a run home on a double play ground ball that he does not get an RBI for in the 7th. He walked in the 1st and flied out to right in the 3rd. Tough night for the Sox bullpen, although Danny Farquhar was pretty good. 1 inning, 1 strikeout. He did get that double play from Davis. One and one. That ball bounces away from Castillo to the backstop, and the runners advance. Simeon to third, Lowry to second.
Been a long night for Wellington. He's caught a lot of pitches from a lot of pitchers. That one got away. It is a wild pitch. This is where a lot of guys pick up a lot of runs batted in games that are out of hand. But you're bearing down each and every at bat, and when you get an opportunity to drive them in, when they drive in 102, as Davis does a lot, they don't ask you primarily when you got them. They ask you how many you got. And he is grinding this at bat as if it's a 0-0 game.
2-2. Fouled away again. And bouncing back into the field of play, and a nice catch down the first base line on the foul ball.
Just thought I'd let you know at this late juncture that this was the scene of the only save I ever had right here in this ballpark.
Wow.
Yep. I couldn't believe it either.
Was it 3 innings?
No, it was 2 outs.
To third, Sanchez for out number 3. Hey, look, Sox are down big, but it's still sunny. Right? There's a bay, there's water, it's nice. Summer's coming. That's something. Career shutout. His first last September 15th at Philadelphia. So far, he's allowed 5 hits, all singles. And the Sox trail 8-0 here in the 9th. Pitch number 101 runs inside. Mingden, that shutout he had back in September of last year is his only career complete game. We saw Yusmeiro Petit getting loose, and Bob Melvin decided to send the young man right back out to try to finish a complete game shutout. Sox have Abreu, Davidson, and Garcia scheduled up.
You don't get many shots at a complete game, and credit Bob Melvin with saying, look, pitch number 104 on the way, give him an opportunity. If he gets a 1-2-3 inning, so be it. If not, you go to the bullpen. But the young man has served himself very well tonight. Those are pretty stout numbers.
And still a good-looking fastball at 90, but well placed. So 2-2 from Mingden. Six strikeouts, 1 walk for him tonight. Sox threatened in the first inning. Yohan Moncada, first pitch swinging tonight with a base hit to right field. He stole second, got to third on an Avi Garcia ground out. Abreu struck out on a curveball. Davidson walked. And a Nicky Delmonico pop-out ended the threat. Sox stranded 2 of their 5 in that inning. That ball's bashed to center field. Canna going back at the warning track and the wall, and it's deposited out of here by Jose Abreu. There will be no shutout tonight for Daniel Mingden. Abreu makes sure of it.
Okay, so I missed the blast directionally by just a few feet, but that was a bomb, 400 feet to straightaway center field. That is going to be it for Mangden, who, you know, Bob Melvin gave him a shot. We'll take a look at our Ford home run replay, and it's a blast to center field. Jose loves to hit in this ballpark, and he shows it to you right there. So the first extra base hit of the night, and that's it for Daniel Mangden, who gets a nice round of applause from a very cold but very appreciative Oakland crowd. So as he walks out, so will we. We'll be back.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, now pitching.
True moment, and it was tough to pick, but let's pick this one. A bomb to center field? No, not a bomb to center field. The night of Daniel Mangden, and it was brilliant. Only Jose Abreu could solve him. The curveball was good. Everything else was great. And what a night for Mangden. First time he's going to win in this ballpark, barring a miracle. In every start he's ever had, he was 0-10 in this park coming in. Look at that line, very impressive, and his teammates very appreciative of the effort tonight.
There's a strike called to Davidson, who it's not at all funny to Matt. It keeps seeming to happen that there is a pitch a night that gets called a strike that and you look at the data, and he had one of the worst strike zones of the first 2 weeks of the season. And again, later in the night, the strike zone tends to expand. But also, you look at those first two pitches, the count should have been 1-1, one each. The ball was a strike, and the strike was a ball. It all evens out, as they say. There's a swing and a miss, strike three. Davidson punched out by Yusmeiro Petit, who, sometimes your initials don't spell out anything. Sometimes your initials spell out a word. His middle name is Alberto, so he is Yusmeiro Alberto Petit. His monogram is Yap.
There you look at the numbers, and he's been a busy man. This is his 10th game. Very valuable man out of the pen for the simple reason, like he doesn't walk anybody. We saw that. But more than not, he can pick up multiple innings because he used to be a starter. Every bullpen needs one of these. Hector Santiago is that guy for the Sox who can go in, pick up some innings. They're really the unsung heroes because they don't get a lot of decisions. All they do is hold the team close. When they do, if the offense is in high gear, they can come back and get in the game.
You were talking about Abreu's home run. With that home run, another generous donation from the Alex Snellius family in loving memory of Ursula. So thanks to Jose for that. But you're right. The long men in the bullpen are maybe the best teammates in terms of how much they protect the other guys in that bullpen, right?
They're especially important on winning teams when you don't want to decimate your bullpen, because every manager has, let's say they got 5 starters. That's what most teams have. That means they got 8 guys in the bullpen. They probably have 3 or 4 of those guys that constitute guys who you'll put in when it's close or you're ready to win the ball game. And they have other guys that you put in when the game is not yet out of hand, but getting to that point. And the one long man, some teams have two long men, guys that were starters can go multiple innings. They're going to save that winning part of the bullpen for when the games are on the line. Much more important on a winning team than a team that's not going to win. In the case of the Sox, they're a rebuilding team, and there are no rebuilding teams that win championships.
On the ground, nicely played by Olsen to spin it for out number 2. And here's what's coming up for the Sox, including the remainder of this trip to Oakland with a night game and a day game. Then the defending champs are in.
Defending champs that are looking up at the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And
Number 21,
Anaheim
Wellington.
Angels starting to believe that they can unseat Houston in what looked like a team that is going to be a dynasty. And before it's over, they just might, because of the depth of that pitching staff. They're number 1 in pitching. That rotation
Number 38,
is sparkling
Omar
top to bottom. But in the
Javier.
meantime, a lot of things happen on the way to the coronation. And the Angels are one of those things that are happening to Houston.
As Omar pinch hits for Wellington, Narvaez takes a strike. Astros have that dynamic rotation. It's hard to pick out an ace on that staff.
Ace is Verlander. I mean, I know that.
But
Geico's
day to
good.
day,
Yeah, well, it's Verlander. He started opening day, and he's the guy they look at to lead the way. So, I mean, they got him over there. He led the way to a World Series championship. He's leading the way this season. And as good as the other guys are, they look at Verlander and they see an ace. Even Dallas Keuchel said, we got to go get this guy.
Sure.
And he knew when he did that he would be the guy. I would love to have that rotation and worry about who's going to be number 1. Because on the day you take the ball, you're number 1.
0-2. Sox only run coming across here in the 9th on the Jose Abreu homer. It's number 4 for Jose. That's strike 3. Omar couldn't pull the trigger, and the A's do on an opening victory. Daniel Mingden was outstanding tonight.
I thought he was terrific, and I thought it was all Oakland tonight. Unfortunately, the boys didn't feel very well. There was no offense, and better luck tomorrow. So get your rest, because the bus leaves early with a big crowd.
That's true. See you then. 9:05 Central Time, 7:05 local time. We'll see you from the Coliseum here in Oakland. So we say farewell for our producer Keon Dolachahi, our director Jim Angio, our associate producer Dave Ross, our tech manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Greg Bowman, and our entire NBC Sports crew here in Oakland. He's Steve Stone.